I'm Olivia,
And I'm Shelley.
and this may contain chaos.
Olivia's running the show today.
Yes, so today we are discussing one of my favourite and close to heart subjects, which is manifestation. You know manifestation?
So this is my opinion of, like, I don't know that much about it.
Okay.
But, like, what I think it is kind of, I'm saying all the words, but not the words. So is the theory behind it that you kind of, like, wish it or believe it into existence sort of thing?
Yeah, so pretty much there's a lot of different layers to it. So
Obviously, if everyone went, I wish I was a millionaire, like, it's not necessarily going to happen.
yes, so this is the argument against it. So I'll give the definitions, but the basic argument is people don't believe it because they think, well, God, why am I not a millionaire? But that's because
Yeah.
there are so many things holding you back.
You've got something dry on your eye.
Oh, my eyebrows are so dry. It's just
It's
like dry
okay.
scalp. If you just itch it,
No,
it's
it's
just
okay,
so
it's
much dry scalp.
We've
comes
got
out.
you.
So manifestation is you can manifest anything you want: dream job, house, relationship, amount of money. You just need to believe you deserve it.
And that's where it gets a bit wishy-washy because it kind
Yeah.
of feels a bit like, not religion, and I'm not darking on religion at all, but it's like, again, I wish for £1 million, and it's like, why is there not £1 million? If you believe in something enough and it doesn't happen, is it because you're not believing enough?
So there's many layers to that question as well. So I'll go back, so I'll answer them as you go through. But that's obviously the biggest problem is people not believing in themselves. And I'll discuss it. I'll let you go. There's a little section. But basically, it's linked to the idea of the universe. So the universe is the universe, and it's the belief that everything is energy and that we attract what we are.
Need that closer.
We attract what we are, and we build a reality for ourselves. So probably, let's find. I bought some books with me today.
Just got props.
My favourite
I know, I
books.
realised that when I was like, oh, we haven't said what we're discussing. It's
Yeah.
all over the books. I don't know anything apart from the topic, though. She's got her little notes in there.
Yeah, my little notes. So
what book's this one?
this is Manifest: 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life by Roxy Nafousi. I'm sorry if
That's
I
a lovely name, Roxy Nafousi.
completely probably murdered that beautiful last name.
It's a really nice-
It's recommended from me through work. So someone I know through
Oh,
work
cool.
recommended it to me. And basically, to manifest is to make something happen, and manifesting is the ability to create the exact life you want, to draw in anything that you desire and become the author of your own story. It looks and feels like magic, and we are all magicians.
Oh, okay,
I think there's
okay.
something so beautiful.
That was
about that.
lovely.
Yeah, there's something so beautiful. And basically, I think what got it popular was this book.
See, I said to you earlier when you brought it out, I've seen that book before, the cover. I did not know it was about this sort of thing. I've never actually delved into what it is, but I've seen it. Do you know what I mean?
So it's called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And basically the secret is the law of attraction.
Tell me your secrets.
Yeah, it's literally like, when I read it, I thought it was gonna, I don't know, if I said this to you, change everything, change the way I think, change, I don't know, life. But it's a very gradual process. So it's
Okay. So it's not like I must do these 10 steps and now I am a manifester. It's like slowly sort of change the way you think about things, or am I just completely wrong?
I think so. I think it takes energy.
Yeah.
And so what it is we all work with one infinite power. We all guide ourselves by the exact same laws. The natural laws of the universe are so precise that we don't even have any difficulty building spaceships. We can send people to the moon, and we can time the landing with a precision of a fraction of a second.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did sort of zone out a little bit in the middle of that. I was like, cool, and then I went and then I had spaceship, and then I thought my face probably changed because I got really confused. So what does that mean?
So
What does it mean?
So basically, I guess, is linked to the idea of we can really do anything if we put our
Mind to it.
Thoughts are magnetic, and they all
Are
have
you
a
saying we
frequency.
have the same 24 hours in a day?
Oh my God, I will never say anything like that. This is only about manifesting. Everyone has a different
I'm not putting words in her mouth. I'm sorry.
Like, no one, please. I don't think everyone has the same opportunities.
Oh, for sure.
But especially when it comes to manifestation, but I think it's what you make out of it, because you can get into some kind of manifestation and people are like, I don't know, some people can't manifest like others can. But I do think everyone can get what they want in the end. But if you, through the manifestation perspective, obviously it's opportunities and...
Yeah, because in my mind, when you see a lot of maybe like famous people, influencers, YouTubers talk about, manifestation and vision boards, a lot of the time manifestation, what I see, comes from a huge place of privilege.
Yeah.
Like they'll say, like, obviously me and Frank bought a house and I wanted to buy a house, but we had the money saved to buy a house. Like, obviously if you're struggling, we've got a cost of living crisis right now, for someone to just be like, oh, I just thought about it, buying a house, and then I bought a house. It is obviously a lot more complicated than that. And that's why I always used to think of it as like a rich white lady kind of thing, because they're like, and it's like, it's people who already have access to, what are they called? Like guidance people, and they have like mentors and they have money and they have like opportunity, and someone will find them to start a business, like saying, I want to start a business, and being like, I did start a business and I turned over 6 figures. If you don't have that business acumen or the time to research or the time to do that, that's not obviously going to happen. So but obviously the way it's portrayed on social is like, I wished it and now it's happened. You don't see the steps that they may have taken, whether those steps were sort of handed to them or they actively took them to make it happen, because obviously that's not magical, is it?
No, I think it's less about magic. There is a science to it. I'll go into it.
Sorry if I threw you off.
No,
there.
You're okay. So it's about being magnetic, and I guess it is different for everyone. It's probably the best thing to say for that, because I'm not so educated in that world of it, of manifestation, but I can understand that some of it sounds like it's coming from a very privileged.
Yeah. And that's just my, the way I'd first think of it. But this could all change everything. What I learn here.
So, yeah, I suppose if you look at it, that is, I think, even more of a discussion to be had, I think. But it's kind of like a pseudoscience. So I think that's what it is considered. It's more of a mindset than it is magic, I would think. So manifestation refers to a physical sign that something has happened or been solidified in reality. Manifestation essentially means to bring something tangible into your life through attraction and your belief system. It's not enough to have superficial thoughts. You actually need to truly believe that you will be able to turn your dreams into reality. So it's trying to say that it's accessible for all.
Oh, okay.
So it's like holistic goal setting. So no matter where you're in the world, you can set a goal and then you believe it into existence. So it means that you need to be able to visualize and experience how it would look like to achieve specific goals. And the reason for that is your nervous system.
Okay, right. So when I was doing cheer, she's a cheerleader.
Oh my God.
It's not a very good one though.
Never.
I've not done it for a couple of years, but I was going to do back handspring, and at the ripe old age of 24, 25, which isn't old, but it is old in gymnastics sort of age. Like most people know how to do this stuff way before they're 20. And one thing that, because I knew all the components and it was putting it into practice, and obviously you can practice and practice and practice and practice and get it wrong and fall on your head and all that sort of stuff. But I did actually start closing my eyes and envisioning what that would be like for me to succeed. So actually dreaming of me doing the motions, not moving my body, but thinking of it in my mind and being I'm in the gym that we would do it in, and what would that look like? And that really helped. When I started doing that, I actually started hitting it more, which is weird, but it did help, because obviously I can see other people doing it and I know exactly what I have to do, but doing it on the floor was really hard. And I was still practicing, but once I started visualizing, someone's got a text, visualizing what that would look like, what my body would feel like, I was getting it better. So is that kind of where we're going from here? That's probably, I just thought it just came back to me now.
That is exactly it. So
don't ask me to do one because it has been a long time.
No.
Don't flip.
So that is the Wikipedia thing is manifestation or manifesting refers to various pseudoscientific self-help strategies that purposely make an individual's wishes come true by mentally visualizing them.
Okay,
that
wasn't planned.
The law of attraction of New Thought spirituality according to Wikipedia. But if I can find my notes, that is a thing. Part of it is there's so many steps to it, but visualizing is one of the most important things. So you can do visualization meditations, and you see it. You see, you see your life how you want it to be. You see what you want.
So advanced daydreaming.
Yeah, it's advanced daydream. That's one aspect of it. And it's true, I think I say this later on anyway, but if you think I'm going to go into a job and I'm going to be shit, I'm going to be the worst at this job ever, everyone thinks I don't belong here, your entire body, thoughts, work ethic, all assimilates around that.
Yes, I definitely believe in that, because when my mum was working her last job and it was really, really stressful, like she'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have such a shit day today, and I'm like, you're already speaking that into existence.
Yeah.
Like, if you go in saying, do you know what, it might be stressful, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
At least you're putting like you're starting your day positively, and it may end negatively, but don't start the day negatively, because then you'll just, as soon as one little thing sets you off, you're like, right, that's it, yeah, I declared it, this day's shit now. Rather than being like, oh, that's annoying. But like, although I am quite an optimistic person anyway, so yeah. But speaking the stress into existence before it's even happened, you're waiting for it, or as soon as it happens, you're like, yeah, you write it off.
Because you expect the worst. And I fact is that like so obviously you're thinking something, your whole body's going to change towards it. So you think about, you wake up, you stub your toe, you think today's going to be a bad day. Then loads of negative things happen, right? Like you spill your coffee, you hit every red light, you're late for work, you're like, oh,
that's
the world hates me.
Yeah. We've all been there. You know, when you have two bad things happen, you're like, where's the third?
Exactly.
The third one's, you're looking for it at that point.
And you think it, and then you know it well. The world's your reflection. That's the whole thing of manifestation. So everything around you is a reflection of how your own perspective, because no one's in your own head, right? Even in
that'd be so stressful, because there's a lot going on in there as there is. There's
no
room for anyone else.
Because the reflection of my mind on the world would be absolute chaos, which makes a lot of sense for government.
Same
right?
here, if only it was. Yeah, well, bloody hell. I mean, the cabbage outlasted us. I don't know when this is going to go out, so it's going to be really the lettuce.
It might be too outdated.
But it's so funny. If you get the Liz Lettuce reference, send us an email, maycontainchaos@gmail.com. But Boris could come back. Horrific.
I've heard this. I can't even get into. I don't know. It's like he took a little break out, and they were like, it'll be fine when he comes. It's not gonna be. Anyway.
You know, like in Scream Queens, where she's like, I'm back, bitches. It's
like
literally
the memes that will come out of that man. I don't know how he even has the audacity to come back. Like, I can't. Boris is a whole other topic for me. On the whole podcast.
We're not educated enough on politics to go into it in that much detail. We're not naive about it, but we're not like that dedicated into it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I vote. Do you vote?
I do vote, yeah.
Frank doesn't vote. He does sometimes, and I get really annoyed at him because I'm like, you are a cis white male. You had the vote the quickest, so you better fucking use it. We've only had the vote for like 100 years. Well, actually, only. Yeah, it was mainly like white rich women who owned property were the first ones to vote, women. So like, you've had the vote the longest, fucking use it, all right?
You have to do it out of respect.
Out of respect to me.
And always read the policy. Not that I'm getting political, but read the policies and then decide.
Yeah.
It's not like football teams. Don't just do it because your dad's supposed to.
Literally though.
Read the policies. See what? Okay, that's it.
That's what we're doing. Because I mean, we're very much aligned politically in the same way, but like, we're not getting into that.
No, exactly.
But if you want to tell us anything more about politics, send us an email at maycontainchaos@gmail.com, because we'd love to learn more about it. That's not sarcasm. Like, genuinely, we always have room to educate ourselves.
Yeah, always.
But like,
every day is a new day to learn.
Please.
But yeah, so I guess that's the thing. What you are, you will attract. So you have
risky move. I'm putting it down here.
Terrible relationships all the time, and this is where it gets complicated.
So you're in a toxic relationship. You seek out toxic relationships.
Yeah, because you're in a toxic relationship. I guess the idea is, so this is my experience of manifestation, not with anyone's in general, just my own personal experience, my own take on it. So obviously no one has to listen to what I'm saying, but it comes from that. So I was watching this, listening to this podcast with Jordan Peterson, very controversial. Topic. I think that he's obviously, some things he says, all I hear about him is some things he says are good. I agree with some things, but I don't agree with them all, and that's all you hear with Jordan.
I don't think I've seen much about him. I might have to search it up. Is it like Andrew Tate?
No, he's more like I think watch him and then see. He's not like Andrew Tate, but he's just got very. I think.
Is he very like, this is my view, this is the correct view, this is the wrong view kind of person?
Honestly, I don't know. I think he's very open. He just wants the world to be a better place, but perhaps some of his opinions are not
helpful in that regard.
He said, and I think, it was him, and it was the guy with the happiness. He was the Google CX guy. Google CX. Google, something he worked in Google. I think it's Mo Gidwat. I don't know. I have to double check after. But happiness and stuff like this is personal responsibility. And that's what everyone hates to hear.
What, happiness is your own personal responsibility?
Yeah, it's like, if you're not happy, it's your fault. And it's not external.
Right. So I do think happiness is your own responsibility, but I wouldn't go as far to say as if you're not happy, it's your fault, not the world's fault, because you can still create your own happiness. And I believe you should create your own happiness, but that doesn't mean you don't have the right to be unhappy due to external factors.
Yeah, so I think
they're not two in the same, in my opinion.
So that's what...
because you can be happy, but if you get beaten up, you're going to be upset, and they can't blame. Well, you can't blame them for beating you up, for being unhappy. Like,
so you have to watch it. So he does a podcast with the Diary of a CEO, and
Stephen Bartlett.
Yeah, Stephen Bartlett, and he explains it much better than I can. But personal responsibility. But I only say that because I think it links. I'm not saying I disagree with those people's views, but I think it is, if you're in a toxic relationship, you keep attracting toxic men at some point, or toxic women. At some point, you have to think, oh God, it's something with me. It's not about, why do I keep choosing all these bad men?
It's like, why am I like this?
Yeah, it's like you have to accept that you are attracting that. And this is just manifestation.
But you were in a very toxic relationship.
Yes.
But your second relationship, like your relationship after, wasn't toxic.
No. So I think it's a weird...
and that was a really bad relationship, the one.
Yeah, but I think I was having a really bad time. So I was going through a bad time, and I think that was reflective in my relationship with everyone. How much I hated myself after the relationship before. It's brought that horrible toxic relationship in my life. Then I realised I had a lot of people around me towards the end of the relationship that kept saying...
Yeah, because obviously of your dad, loads of people were just like there for you, and you realise, hang on, I don't need the validation of this awful person because I have so many other people.
Started seeing myself better, and then attracted good into my life, I guess.
But you started having therapy after your dad as well anyway, didn't you? You had some counselling and stuff, which probably helped with your self-esteem in general, and obviously going through that. Be externally validated. But obviously someone just being like, do you know what, you're such a good friend.
Yeah.
Is obviously nice because you're just doing you, and for someone to tell you like thank you for just doing you is quite a nice compliment.
And that's the big thing.
And it doesn't have to be, what's the word? It doesn't have to be vanity, like you're so pretty, you're so clever, you're so smart. But it's just like
substance.
I like you. You know what I mean?
You're kind, or like you're a nice person. Like you're really good at blah blah blah.
But I think it definitely shows in like relationships, because you know when you've met your people when you've been with them for quite a long time as friends. I mean, me and you, we've only known each other like 5 years.
Yeah, it feels like a long time.
It feels like so long.
In a good way, not in a...
Yeah, and we only worked together. We only worked together for like 2 years.
Yeah, but like you very much, everyone around you in the idea of manifestation, you've attracted in.
Yeah.
So everything is attracted to you, which makes a lot of sense, I think.
Yeah, because when we worked together, and we worked with Quags, you two were both part-time, I was full-time.
Yeah.
So we didn't see you that much. So it's weird that we're all still really good friends. Obviously, we did end up working full-time together later on, but we were still good friends even before, like, earlier in that. Do you know what I mean? Like when me and you did that road trip to Essex and back, jumped on some trampolines, met Freddie Bentley, then came back. That was such a good day.
See, I knew how much I loved doing that part of that job, and then that manifests. Like there's weird things that I was talking to. I think weird things. I don't know. You speak things. I say this to my mum and to my aunt, and stuff, and then they're like, "God, Olivia, you're right." Because I'll sit down and say, "Look, like if you say that, like." It might come true. And my mum and aunt started noticing things, like they'd say something and then it would they'd be like, oh, I want to
get into this or try
I want to clean up the front or something. I think that was the one. I really should get the rubbish out the front, like I'm going to go do it, and then someone came along and get the rubbish. Could that be down to coincidence? Yes. It could purely be down to coincidence, but it depends on how you see the world. But you only need to go on like Instagram and TikTok. And people are making a career out of manifestation, at least digitally. And so they give tips. They're helping people to manifest.
So they're like career coachy kind of people, or lifestyle coach people.
So I don't know if you've seen any of them, but some of them are.
I've seen a couple. Someone I follow, Rosie, she's big into manifestation. And she's just sort of changed careers as well. But she shares some, and I'm like, oh, this is quite nice. And it's a lot. It's not even like, get your fucking ass up and work. It's really relaxing. It's like, just about opening your mind and being receptive to things. But yeah, no, I really like I really like what the videos she shares. They're very calming and stuff like that. She doesn't share loads. It's not overboard. She's not like everyone should manifest, but she's like, this is what I've been doing. This is what works for me. She doesn't even say it like that. She just shares it and being like mind blown. Yeah.
I feel like that's like the best tester is apparently you visualize a white feather. Just visualize a white feather, and at some point you'll see it. But the thing is, there's quite a lot of layers to that. And then what the thing is you feel as if you already have it. You feel like it's already in your life.
You just need to like unlock
and then you
the
need to
access to
remove the space between
you
you and them. So I'll go into a bit more detail, but the idea is people, I think on TikTok, I see it, it's like you want a specific person or you want a specific thing. But the idea behind manifestation is that you live in abundance. So you can want for love, but you shouldn't want for a specific person to love you.
Okay.
Because there's loads of things on TikTok like dangerous manifestation things.
Well, I've seen this with things about like crystals, where someone's like, I bought this crystal because the crystal's supposed to like help you get rid of anything you don't want in your life, whether you know it or not. And it's like, and I quit my job and broke up with my boyfriend or some shit, and they're like, I'm crying because I didn't realise that's what I needed to do until just now, and it must be the crystal that made me feel this. I don't know if I feel that far into it, but I'm like, okay.
I think the crystal probably symbolises more like that's part of it, crystals and like lunar cycles. I've got a few like crystals here and there, but most of them for decoration. But
hey, we've spoke about you charge them.
Yeah, I charge them. They're safe.
So like you're into crystals.
In my room. I like crystals.
They're very pretty. Are they legit crystals? Or are they like ones that look like crystal but
I think the rose quartz ones are legit, but I have a necklace of one. It's definitely not. I can't remember what it's called, but it's
that's the little pendant one you've got. That's lovely.
I've got that, and I feel like it's the symbol of the crystal. Like you get the crystal. Have you seen that New Girl episode when Winston gets the crystal, and then he suddenly is like, it's like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when Boyle gets the leather jacket.
Yeah.
Like, it's something like you're like, oh, my mindset. So there's a
Winston's like he's like really.
He's like, he gets all the women. He's like, that's the crystal. And that's the thing is that you get the crystal. It's not the crystal. It's you, but the crystal's giving you a power, I guess.
Like you said, it's the crystals unlocking the confidence for you to accept that part.
Yeah, and then there's other that the crystals are obviously an energy in themselves. So it depends. It depends where you want to go.
To Mother Earth. We love you, Mother Earth.
Thanks,
Thanks, Mummy.
The thing, gratitude. Thank for everything you have in your life, and you'll bring more of it in. Apparently, that's like the biggest thing. So you should always be very grateful for everything. Show gratitude to the universe, to what you have. Because if you ever show that you're lacking anything, you're attracting that lack.
Oh, okay.
So it's dangerous, but
it is hard because we're so commercialized now. You want this one,
exactly.
Rather than being like, oh, I'm actually really glad I have this, but it would be cool like if I changed what I had to something else. Or is that still like a lack?
I feel like if you word it rightfully so, I feel like if you really, really want something, the universe. If you see, this is where it comes into. If you feel like you need that, then the universe, you create a block between what you want because of that desire inside it.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, it's so complicated. There's so much more to it than I'm decided like talking about as well. But I guess what it is what you want. As long as you sit there and you think, I want love, or I want this particular job. So I really wanted a job that I could travel with. And I always thought that very much looked like a travel ride.
What? Went for it. You got it. And look, where have you been? Belgium? You go to Ireland?
Yeah.
You go all over the fucking place.
I met so many great people. And it's like one... And the thing is...
And it was never sold as a travel job.
Never. And I've seen most of the UK now. And it's pretty much exactly what I wanted, but in a very roundabout way. And I love my job.
And I didn't know it was a travel job, but I'm also quite glad that I didn't get a travel job in that sort of way because I'm quite busy. So the feeling that this job was for you, and it was for you.
Very gut, and it's
how weird is that? No, that's like literally nearly 2 years ago.
And I think I've manifested before. I've sat and wanted very specific,
and it worked out.
And I was writing for a travel writer, thinking like that's what I wanted to do, and it wasn't. It was a completely different job.
You still do it as a hobby though, because you're really good at it. But like, you didn't know, and
it is very bizarre, and it comes about. So that's the thing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you wanted to do a job that involved traveling. So it's like proper blowing my mind.
So, and also, I think I really wanted to meet someone once that was like a combination of having like a best friend, like a lot of great energy, and then they popped up in the most bizarre place. It brings me on to like the I guess the laws that come with it. There's so much to it. So.
All right, I'm ready. What happens if you break the law?
So there's laws. I'll go to the laws and then we'll go back of how to manifest. Yeah. So we'll get to the bit. I'll do it. So there's the law of attraction, which is like attracts like.
Jordana Levin, Make It Happen.
Yes, this is I found this one randomly, or my mum bought it or something. It's a full vibe.
Oh, right. So no one here knows who Olivia's mum is, but Olivia's mum is like Olivia, but like 60 odd. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's actually brilliant. Like Olivia's insane, and her mum is brilliant, but just Olivia. Like remember when she came down to Portsmouth to see you, and she had like 17 folders with her, like ring binder folders. Like I've brought loads of baby photos of you, and I was like, you carried like 5 sacks of folders on the train. What's wrong with you?
She's such a vibe. She's literally the kindest woman I know.
Oh, brilliant lady.
She's so kind, and she bought me this. She buys me books that she thinks I would like, which is mostly manifestation. So Georgina Levin, very good.
No, that's Jordana. This is Jordana.
What did I say? Georgina.
Yeah.
That is my mind working on tired levels. So the law of attraction, which we've discussed, is that positive thoughts create a positive outcome, and negative thoughts create a negative outcome. So that's coming from that. Is
that like the baseline of it, basically?
That's the law of attraction, which is like the secret, which is everything, is that...
I am borrowing this, by the way. I will borrow it.
Oh, yeah.
It's only little. I'll give it back to you when we see each other next.
Sounds good to me. And I think, so with that, people think, though, the caveat to that is people think, God, if I think a negative thought...
Then that means something bad's going to happen.
Something bad's going to happen, and then you get it's only if you get almost in a loop about...
In the negative cycle, which obviously is difficult if you have, like, depression and anxiety and stuff.
Exactly.
But, like, obviously, just... There's different ways of going about it. Like, obviously, if every day you start your day associating work with it's going to be a bad day, even though work may actually be causing you a lot of stress, you're still kind of speaking it into existence. Because you could have had a day when no one contacts you and no one's mean to you and you just get on with your job. A job you may not like, but you don't have that horrible interaction with anyone.
No, we're very focused, unfortunately, on the negatives. I speak from a person that has had a very negative mindset for a very long time, and then one day was like, I think it's time to change because life was just not the way I wanted to go. And I think like I just maybe programmed as a society to always want for more, and
but because we're always shown things that are like just out of our reach. You see celebrities, you see people making something out of literally nothing. You see people being famous for being famous. You see all these things thinking like, and that's why people get annoyed, because obviously you want the easy way out. But reality is, if we did some dancing in lockdown 1 on TikTok, and we did some skits, and we got TikTok famous, and we're now like influencers from that. I know people who are like 50 years old and have worked in a factory for 10 years, and they've done really, really honest, hard work for their life. Yeah. But it shouldn't be on you to make other people feel bad because they're not doing what you see as hard work. Yeah. And that's why we get dangled that sort of pipe dream, and that's why we want, I want that. And a lot of the hate comes from a place of jealousy, whether people see it or not.
Yeah.
Especially when they're young women. I always see it worse when it's young women.
I feel like that is also another topic to definitely discuss, is just the societal effects of that, which is severe, I think.
But we see it, we want to be prettier, you want to have nicer hair, you want to have lashes, you want to have your nails done, you want to be stronger. Oh, now we've got to go to the gym. So, do you know what I mean? It's everything.
If I watch Love Island, I don't watch it anymore. I watch a few episodes. And then normally I have to turn it off because I want to be more tanned. I started to fear it, and I'm like, do I want to get I'm like, oh, okay, I want to get a boob job, or I think, God, I want lip filler. It's all just sinking. It's all
I don't get that, luckily.
I get that.
I do get the tan thing, though. I just watch it go, I want to go on fucking holiday.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a good thing, though, to think, oh, I just want to go on holiday.
But I don't see, like, the lips or anything. I think, oh, I've got great lips, so, you know, who would change these? But I did actually think for a while about getting, like, tear trough filler, because I've always had these really bad eye bags. Quite literally since I was like 8 years old. And you can get like tear trough filler, which kind of fills it because it's too close to the veins. Okay. And I was like thinking of that for quite a while. And then I thought, do you know what? If it goes wrong, like it's my eyes. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like I don't want to fuck with the eye. You don't fuck with the eyes.
You don't fuck with the eyes.
You don't fuck with the eyes. So I was like, nah. But I can see like when you're shown that amongst adverts, magazines, everything else. I can see how things like Love Island, I fucking love it. I'm watching it every year anyway. Well, you literally were like earlier, yeah, everybody fancies me.
Everybody fancies me.
But I can understand how that can have an effect on people, especially when you're like 13, 14 and you're like, our brains are like juicy and ripe and have finished developing. But if you haven't, and you're just starting your sort of manifestation journey, you don't even know you're on the journey yet.
Yeah, you have to. I think it always comes from.
I took that on a fucking long tangent. I'm so sorry.
No, I'll have to. That's a thing as well as shadow work. So I've got a whole little section on it, but that's where it comes in, where you have to start. So you can't just sit there now.
We can always do a part 2 if it's too long.
Well, hopefully we.
Let's get to the rules. Is it the rules or the laws?
Yeah, the laws. So you got the law of that, and then you got the law of vibration. So everything in the universe vibrates.
Oh yeah, you do.
On its own frequency.
You know all about that, wouldn't you?
I'm like, I'm a professional podcast. I'm professional.
I'm just reading my book. Sorry, I'm sorry.
So vibration is the vibes.
Yeah, we know. We've just said that.
So things of similar frequency are drawn together.
Okay.
So you're vibing. You're in a positive mood. You're feeling great.
I'm in a fantastic mood.
Exactly. And I tell you, I find that more often with myself now. I've kind of learned to let things go.
Yeah.
Accept things as they are. It is what it is. If it's not meant to be, it will leave. As soon as you try to hold on to something, the manifestation starts to askew.
And I think obviously some of that can be down to trauma as well. Like when you're in a traumatic space, your response to that can kind of mingle with your manifestational response. Do you know what I mean? So then if you're in a place where you're struggling physically, mentally, and you're sort of in that dark place, for whatever reason, obviously it's harder to get out of that cycle of negative and you're going to start attracting negative things because that's the only thing you can sort of relate to at that moment because it consumes you.
It's last year because I started a journey. I wouldn't say I'm an avid manifestator. I don't do it all the time. Maybe there's a bit manifestator.
Sorry, carry on.
So close to have a word.
In the words of RuPaul Charles, other people's opinions of me is none of my goddamn business.
That is very true.
And my mum doesn't like that. She's like, so you think you're amazing? No, I don't. Well, I mean, I love myself. I'm not saying I'm the best, but also I actually don't care what other people think because if they don't like me, then they're not in my life. So that's kind of on them. They need to consume that. I don't need to consume it because that's energy I don't have.
But I feel like your stance is already in a very good manifestation stance. So if you set like that is the basis of it. So I'll divert from the laws, but the shadow work is one of the most important things with it. And what it is, it's getting to know your darker self. Working with your unconscious mind to uncover the
No, sorry, I'm just thinking of that Kermit meme.
Oh my god, that is insane. I am the Kermit in the Hood.
That's what I mean, you're like dark self and it's like hood on, like you look in the mirror and there's like a dark person behind you.
That is what I honestly. That's him.
Can we insert a picture of the Kermit meme like in the middle or in the video?
I'm dressed up as him. I should have gone as him for Halloween this year.
I'm not doing anything for Halloween this year.
I'm going to some zombie rave.
Oh, you told me about that. Sounded scary.
Yes, it's working with your unconscious mind to uncover parts of yourself that you repress and hide, even from yourself. Good trauma, parts of your personality that you subconsciously consider undesirable. So what you need to do is if you are really lucky and fortunate enough, then that can be through therapy.
Obviously, it's a massive privilege to do therapy. You can get on like through the NHS, but it is long.
Yeah, and
that can be way too late for people, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is very privileged. So you just have to ask yourself some hard questions. Obviously, if you've got a trained professional, that is more beneficial, but it's stuff you can ask yourself on your own.
Yeah, and it's really hard to have an objective view of things and really be like, actually. And sometimes we do ourselves a disservice as well because we think we're overreacting. And sometimes you need someone to be like, you're not overreacting. This thing that happened to you is terrible. Or sometimes you need people to be like, actually, is it that deep?
But is it that deep? But it's like your response to something. I think shadow work is a whole other podcast as well. But now we're going into the therapy thing. But I guess what it is that you need to believe in yourself and believe you deserve these things, and that's not coming from it's coming from inside.
I think that's a good place to end. Or part 1.
So we'll end part 1, but we'll come back. We've got law of action, law of rhythm, faith.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So we've got a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Next time, part 2.
Very excited. If you want us to cover anything in specifically for part 2 about manifestations, send us your questions. Let us know what you want. You can comment on our videos, or you can send us an email at
maycontainchaos@gmail.com.
It's lovely to see you.
See you for part 2.
Oh, is it ASMR? I don't have long nails. They're like half broken.